Good day, welcome, and thank you for joining us. You're watching Opposite right on Cape Town TV. My name is Danny Kambwa, and we've got an exciting show for you today because joining me in studio is a gentleman who goes by the name of Manix Sanga. He's been giving a lot in trying to help the communities and help Africa in general. And he is the founder as well as the director of an organization called The Cry of an African Child Foundation. So we're going to get to know all about him, what the organization does, and how they are helping quench hunger and poverty within Africa. So Manix, welcome to the show. Oh, you're welcome. So for those that do not know you, seeing you for the first time, that have not heard about your organization, can you just give us a brief bio about yourself first?
Yes, I'm called Manix Sanga Muyala, and I'm the founder of the organization, as you mentioned, the Cry of an African Child Foundation.
Yeah.
We a South African organization, but we work all over Africa where we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking to you earlier on, you mentioned that you were from Congo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm from Congo as well.
Okay.
Up to Congo.
Sure.
And just, being a foreign national,
Yeah.
Operating in South Africa, trying to give help, how has that experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's kind of very challenging,
Yeah.
but I decided to not believe in obstacles when I'm trying to do something good for others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that there has been a good response from the communities, from the country in general, because you started this in South Africa first before you branched out in other African countries?
Yeah, with communities, I'm more than welcome. My work goes well.
Yeah.
And yeah, when it comes to funding, it's a bit of challenging, but we're pushing and we're trying our best.
Yeah. So your organization is doing amazing work, trying to help, especially with hunger, as hunger and poverty is one of the main problems that we are faced with right now in this country or in Africa. So, growing up, being from Congo, how has your childhood been like, and what has inspired you to want to start this organization?
My childhood is one of the reasons why I had to start this organization, because I grew up with a mother without a father, and it was very, very challenging. And when I grew up, I had to father myself. So which means the role model from the father that I'm supposed to receive, but I had to do it by myself. I have to search myself, what can I do to be a better son?
Yeah.
What can I do to be a better husband, a better father? So it was very challenging, but I managed to overcome that situation. And I decided that it's not everyone who are able to overcome the situation like mine.
Yeah.
So we need to help each other to hold hand in hand.
Yeah. So, as in overall, you mentioned that you had to be a father to yourself. You had to help yourself grow. Has all this taken place in Congo? Have you grown up there?
I spent some of my childhood in Congo and some in South Africa, but I became a mature person in South Africa. Like life, I only knew life about life in South Africa. Yeah.
Because I find myself in the same boat as well. I've got most of my life here in South Africa.
Yeah.
I do not know much about Congo, but everybody that's that side is wanting to come here because there's so many opportunities here. And when you are here, you're faced with so many challenges. Also, you're thinking to yourself, is this really what everybody back there is thinking this country is? So if you're going to scale it, if you're looking at Congo, the challenges that is being faced there, and you see how the challenges are here in South Africa, seeing that you've got the base of both countries, how will you describe that?
Look, I really discourage people when they have to think that they have to move from one place to another, because there is not much opportunities anymore in South Africa. We have a lot of South Africans who are unemployed, and we need to balance things, okay? We need to create a balanced situation in Congo, and we have to discourage people to move from one side to another as they think.
As they think, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if people that's talented like you, can give off their talent to bring up their own country as well, will really set a tone, and get the country moving in a better direction.
Yeah, it asks a lot of communication and engagement and leadership as well. So we need to be given platforms to get engaged with the young people and things, and to educate them more about what is happening in Africa at the moment.
Wow. So your organization has been very, very, very busy in South Africa and also around Africa. So what are you doing in trying to alleviate poverty in Africa?
Poverty, what we do, you cannot fight poverty just like that. It's very vast.
Yeah.
So we have project every year. We choose a project. Like 2021, we have HIV and AIDS in Congo.
Yeah.
So we submitted the project already to government and other institutions, and we have different projects each year. So that's what we do. Okay. Maybe we decide South Africa is one project this year, or Mozambique is one project. Like the time of cyclone, we tried to help people in Mozambique, and we supplied clothes and shoes and things like that. And we move from one country to another.
Okay. Right. So it's basically awareness, creating awareness.
We create awareness, yeah. And we assist in physically, morally, like where we can. Okay. Not only awareness, okay, but awareness, education is the best thing. Yeah, so we have conferences where we discuss about different things, yeah. Like father, absence father, the consequences, and what can we do, okay, to prevent from teenage pregnancies and things like that. So we must engage with young people. Okay. Yeah.
So it's social issues.
Yeah.
Social issues that's commonly found within black communities, which is absent dad or absent mom, having to grow up on your own, taking, like the eldest one, having to take care of the sisters, and being educated is also one of the main things, as you mentioned, to trying to conquer poverty.
Yeah, but look, in Africa, we have the idea that says we expect gift, okay? Yeah. We expect gift, but gift can't help you. It's better they teach you how to get fish than give you the fish. Exactly. So we need to transform the mindset. You get it? Yes. So now our organization is based on transforming the mindset of the young Africans. Because the mindset is the future. Yeah. Once your mind is destroyed, it's poisoned, you will never do anything. Even though they give you billions, you will be stuck on one thing. Yeah. So as we change the mindset of the young Africans, okay, and we're trying to empower them wherever we can.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's all about tapping into the mindset, changing the mindset, changing the view as to how they see
the person is the mind, yeah, not the pocket. The person is the mind.
Yeah, the pocket only does what the mind tells it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that analogy, guys. For those that's watching at home, I urge you to not go anywhere. When we come back from this break, we continue that conversation. So see you now. All right, guys, welcome back. You're watching Open Studio right here on Cape Town TV. I'm Danny Cambo, as I mentioned earlier on. I've got Manix Sanga with me in studio today, who is the founder of an amazing organization called the Cry of an African Child Foundation. Okay, we spoke about how the organization is helping, trying to alleviate poverty within our African continent, and also poverty and hunger, and also trying to adjust and shape the minds of the young people, because they are the future. So, as the founder of an organization, firstly, thank you so much for coming to the show. For those that just missed it, that maybe just tune in now, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Just
about myself. I'm an African child who have been crying, and who's trying to also be with those who are crying.
Wow. Yeah. And you mentioned an African child who is crying. Crying is always looked at negatively, when you are crying, because you are hurt, you are in pain. And right now, Africa is crying. Poverty is on a rise, unemployment is on a rise, and your organization is doing amazing work in trying to educate people in how to combat this trend. So one of the things we're doing is raising social awareness. And you mentioned that teenage pregnancy being one of the issues that we are facing right now in South Africa or Africa. So how is your organization been, tackling and getting to the minds of young people?
Okay, what we do, like teenage pregnancy, as I said, we're transforming the mindset. You see, our girls, we cannot just blame the girls. That's why the father comes. You see, a child who's growing up with the mother, for instance, the mother is only busy drinking and work. And that lady that girl has no one in the house to tell her that I love you. You see, the male word to say to the girl, to a daughter, that I love you, it's very important. Now, when the daughter is not told in the house, my daughter, I love you, and then only get it from the mother and got it from the opposite sex to say, I love you. So she finds it strange. So, oh, this male loves me. So she's, you know, she gets something different. She always gets love word from the mother. Now she gets it outside. No, she gives all of herself. Do you understand that? So that's why we need fathers in the lives of their daughters and sons. So to prevent the teenage pregnancy is to encourage men to be there for their daughters, and to encourage girls to not get engaged in sexual activities at a younger age. If it happens, they have to prevent themselves. Okay, there's different ways of preventing. You know, you cannot oblige a girl, don't do this. If she wants to do it, she has to prevent herself to avoid, because teenage pregnancy increase poverty like really. It's a very dangerous thing for Africa. Yeah, so we have to engage with young girls for them to prevent themselves, or to be away from sexual activities.
Well, that's very true. I mean, but if you're looking at as a youngster, you know, once you've taken on that charge, you know, it becomes difficult for you to even go and study, you know, because now your life has been limited. You have to look after this child, you know. So as you know, that was as a female, looking into a female perspective. So what advice do you have for young boys out there, you know, because it takes two to make a child? And even though the girls are the ones that search for the problem, the boys were involved as well. So what advice do you have for those guys out there?
Look, I believe that the motor is us men or boys, okay? The motor, because those who propose to the girls are us. So that's why we always get engaged as well with boys. Like, you don't do what you were not supposed to do. And then when you make a teenage girl pregnant and you're not able to support that child, who's going to support the child? So even the boys is the same thing. They have to prevent themselves, or either they don't get in sexual activities at the early as they age. You know what I mean? So we're the provokers. We're the ones who provoke. So there's no excuse, because some boys know my father. Look, I grew up without a father, but I did my best. If I did it, they can also do it. You see, it doesn't matter what you went through and what you're going through right now, but you can do it.
It's like you mentioned earlier on, it's the mindset.
Yes, you can just tell yourself, I can do it. I don't want to abuse a girl. Even the gender-based violence we have today, most of them, it's from boys who grew up without fathers. Father has a huge role to play in a family.
Wow.
Yeah.
And taking it from there, you know, when you speak about social issues such as, you know, teenage pregnancy, a house without a father, and then we've got other things like HIV and AIDS. You know, that's also been a major problem within our societies, and many young people are falling victim to this. And how has that experience been like for you?
You know, I always say we cannot fight poverty without targeting HIV and AIDS. And then when we're targeting HIV and AIDS, we must fight it on the source. Yeah. What makes people to get the HIV, to be infected, I mean? Do you know some people, we die with a condom in the pocket? Yeah? But you just get in that mood, that situation, you can't even take your condom to prevent yourself. Now, if you tell your mind that, my mind, you have to be responsible in any activities you are involved in.
Self-control.
You get the point. So a boy who was raised without a father, just the mother, and you know, most of African boys think a female is lower than them. Yeah. You see, when the mother advises them, they don't listen. They want a big voice like, yeah, 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 yeah. You see, so when they don't have that, They do whatever it pleases them.
Yeah.
You see, so we need a man who's going to show them love, who's going to teach them how to love women and to treat women well.
Yeah.
So that it can prevent even from them to go and play around without protection. You know, when you have a father that can be open to you, like you do this, or you don't do this.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, that's some powerful words from you there, Manix. And it's true what you're saying. We are facing these issues in our country because, you know, culturally we are taught that men are superior. And because of that,
Which is not real.
Which is not real. And
Yeah.
many of times, mothers especially find it difficult to raise boys because they tend not to listen.
And women are the most victim, even when it comes to poverty.
Exactly.
Because when there is more poverty in the country, women are the most affected.
Exactly.
And those same women, they get paid lower than the men, while doing same job as the men.
Yeah.
Even more job, but they get peanuts because they are female. Women are more oppressed.
To poverty.
Mm.
But thank you very much for that insightful information. And I hope for those that's watching at home, I hope you are just as tuned in and as engaged as we are. And I hope that you are learning something that you can take onto your life and make it better for yourself and somebody else. So we're going to take another short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation with Manix. Please do not go anywhere. Hi all, welcome back. You are watching Open Studio here on Cape Town TV. My name is Danny Kamba. I've got Manix Sanga with me in studio, who is the founder of an organization called The Cry of an African Child Foundation. They've been doing amazing work around the continent of Africa, trying to, you know, help alleviate poverty and hunger by raising awareness and also helping adjust the mindset of the young people so that they can think more in a productive sense and in a way that will bring more, you know, sense to humanity than what it is right now. So once again, thank you so much, Manix, for coming into the studio today to chat to us. You know, yeah, you're welcome. We spoke a lot about what your organization is doing to help and also your own background, you know, as being of a foreign national coming to make a difference here and also in Africa. You know, so just to continue with our conversation, currently in the world, we find ourselves in a difficult position, which is the COVID-19 pandemic. So, you know, with a job like yours, I'm sure this was a crucial time for you guys to really do your best to try and help those that were struggling. So how has this experience been like for you?
COVID-19 has affected, like, has knocked a lot of people and companies, organizations, because last non-profit organization, NGOs, we depend on businesses, the sponsors and things like that. So if they are affected, we're more victim, we're more affected as well. You see, it happens like earlier this year, we left the country to go around Africa, and we end up in Congo to submit a project, HIV and AIDS project for 2021. But we were stuck in the country, and it affected us financially, it affected our sponsors, it affected the organization. So it really knocked us. Like, I cannot say everything that we went through, but COVID-19 it's like a virus that destroyed the economy of the whole world. Yeah, and it's destroying organizations like you have no idea.
Oh, wow. And how did you come out of that situation?
Look, COVID-19, for us to recover from it, it's going to take years, eh? Yeah, even businesses, it's going to take years, but we're still coping. We still have to be strong and adapt to the moment situation. Otherwise, we're going to give up. The organization's closed, everything closed. So we're trying to push.
Wow. So when you mentioned that you have to adapt to the current situation, how is that going to affect the organization moving forward?
Especially financially, because for a person from the organization, for me to be here, okay, to be in your studio, I have to move. It has money from the organization. So what if I don't have money? I can't move. For us to get engaged with the young people, the work that we're doing, it has money. What if we don't have money? We'll be stuck. So we just praying God that things go well. Things get better than where we are right now. Yeah.
Wow. And you mentioned earlier on that, you know, you had to adjust your programs as well because of the pandemic. So tell us a little bit more about that.
You see, like 2021, we had HIV and AIDS in Congo because remember in Congo, if someone is HIV positive, they don't even call it HIV. Them they call it AIDS. If someone is infected with HIV, they just say he has AIDS or she has AIDS, and then they discriminate that person.
Yeah.
So we wanted to educate the young people that this is what happened, and a person with HIV, one day the viral load and CD4 count is well, and it's undetected. That person cannot even transmit the virus to another person. Sorry. So we decided to do that project. But right now, there's this COVID-19. We can't do anything. The project is like collapsing.
Yeah.
Now they just focus on for COVID-19. So we have to bring up another project. Now we're trying to come with a project of sending back, supporting the people who want to go back to Congo. Since we were in Congo, that project was for Congo. Now, though Congolese who are in South Africa want to go back to Congo, now we're trying now to raise funds for them to go back.
Yeah.
You see?
Wow. So that has changed your project.
Yeah, that has changed
360.
totally. Yeah.
Wow. And I mean, what you mentioned is true. You know, there is a misunderstanding that if you've got HIV, you've got AIDS.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's not always the case. And you know, I know many people that's living with HIV and they're having a healthy life.
Yeah.
You know, so that's actually a good point to educate. So you mentioned that that project took place in Congo.
Yeah.
Now, what other African countries have you been at so far with your programs?
Mozambique, we've been there, time of cyclone, and we have a project of 2024 for Mozambique. And Zimbabwe, we've been there. And in Zambia, we have a project 2022 for HIV and teenage pregnancy.
Yeah.
And after that, Namibia is 2025. We're trying to see what's going to come up,
Yeah.
the finances. And South Africa, it's like we do every time. Whenever I can be here, there's an emergency or house burn and things, they need clothes and they need like any support, we're always there in South Africa. Since we're based in South Africa, we're always there.
Okay.
You see?
So when you do branch out into these other countries, then what is the duration of your programs?
We don't do more than a month.
Okay.
But in the country, we always stay like a week or sometimes less than a week because it costs us more money when you're in that country for long. But it's a sad thing that we've been in Congo for like 4 to 5 months, which costed us a lot of money because of the lockdown. Yeah, but we're trying to minimize because, look, organizations like us, we don't have money. We're depending on other people, on sponsors and things like that. So we don't have money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So if there are any sponsors out there that want to help you, you know, just because they love what you're doing,
Yeah.
how can they do so? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, to get all of us, you can do www.thecryofanaafricanchildfoundation.org.za, or you can contact us on info.thecryofanaafricanchild, info@thecryofanaafricanchild.org.za.
Yeah.
Or the easiest way, we're on Facebook, very active. It's the Cry of an African Child Foundation. Or you can WhatsApp us to 0799993866. I repeat again, it's 079999 again 3866. We are on Instagram, the Cry of an African Child Foundation, because there is an organization called the Cry of an African Child, but us, we are the Cry of an African Child Foundation.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you must have that on there.
Yeah.
All right. So, oh, wow. Thank you so much, Manix, for coming to the show and
Thank-
speaking to us today.
Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome. Thank you to the viewers that have tuned in and be part of this conversation. I really hope that you take whatever information we're given today and make it your own. Educate others, teach them about this organization and the wonderful work that Manix and his groups is doing. Yeah, so from our group, guys, thank you so much from the Cape Town TV crew. And for myself, I highly appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us talk here every week. So from my side, the Cape Town TV crew, till next time, Bye-bye.